Hello, my name's Jacob Tran from Vancouver Film School, and today I'm going to teach you how to shoot Leo in Flash.
And a very good day to you. It's time for the lab with me, Leo Laporte. We're going to help you on this show understand all there is to know about technology. Yeah, computers, the internet, cell phones, camcorders, MP3 players, PDAs, if such things exist anymore, home theater, all that stuff, everything in there. Ladies and gentlemen, Kate Abraham, my able assistant and call screener and clipboard deliverer.
Most importantly, the boss.
The master board. This is it, episode 23. Episode 23. That's what it says right here of this fabulous show, and we've got a great one for you.
We have indeed.
You weren't involved in this game, were you?
I didn't suggest it.
Wasn't your idea?
No, it wasn't, I promise.
Shoot Leo in the head. Okay, Jacob Tran's going to show you how to do this. Actually, he says he can, in just a few minutes, create a game.
That we shoot you in the head.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm not sure what's a good thing, but anyway, we'll show you how to do it. Raj Brar, our webmaster, is here, and he's going to talk about something new called Adobe Flex 2. Don't know what that is.
I have no idea.
Adobe's got every time we check, they're doing something new, something exciting, something different. And Raj will explain it all for us. But you know what? The real point of this show, really, is your calls. It's a two-way street. We love hearing from you. You know, you just have to go to the website, labwithleo.com, and fill out a question. We don't get everybody on the air, but we have a good sampling today, don't we?
Yes, we do. We do indeed. Our first caller today is Jeffrey, and he's phoning us from Westminster in Maryland.
Okay.
And
He's got a very unusual question, I understand.
He has a very interesting question, very interesting background as well,
Oh,
which is
right.
kind of cool. I mean, we'd like to hear why people want to use this technology.
We want to know that.
So,
That's exactly how they're using it. There he is right there. Hello, Jeremy. Jeffrey. I'm sorry. Hello, Jeffrey.
Yes.
How are you today?
Okay.
Leo
Fine to
Laporte
talk to you,
here.
sir.
It's wonderful to talk to you, and it's wonderful to see you as well. So, and you're in Maryland?
That's correct.
Did you survive all the did the nor'easter come through Maryland?
It did. The temperature is still in the 40s, so it's a little chilly.
It is chilly, considering how late in the season it is. Wow. It's been just a strange winter, I got to say.
Sure.
So, Kate tells me that you are an undertaker.
Yes, I am.
That's very interesting. Did you ever watch 6 Feet Under?
Yes, I have.
Is it accurate?
No.
No. Nothing like real life.
Nothing like
Nothing
real life.
like it at all. Well, what can I do to help you in your business?
Well, Leo, we at the cemetery on people that we have that are in the military and have died, a lot of people, they're entitled to a flag, and they request taps to be played.
Of course, in the great military tradition, yes.
That's correct. Well, currently we're using a cassette tape player
Okay.
to play taps.
All right.
Sometimes the military people show up, and they have showed up with this little gadget called a ceremonial bugle.
Ceremonial bugle, okay.
Now, that is a device that fits inside of a bugle, and all you have to do is press the button, and it plays taps.
So you don't have to know how to play the bugle. You just hold it up,
That's
and it
correct.
goes... Wow.
But I've
Oh,
gone
here's a
on
picture
the
of
website
it. Look
and
at this.
Look,
This is it. This is the ceremonial bugle.
that's it.
So it's got a speaker, and it goes right. It looks like more like a French. That's a big bugle, almost like a French horn. I mean, that's a. So all right. So I'm getting the idea. So you'd like to stick a cassette player in a bugle? Is that?
Well, I'm trying to think. That item there is $500 plus.
Does that include the bugle?
It does.
That all that brass is expensive. All right.
So I'm just thinking if there's a way to have an MP3 player with speakers to do the same thing. I want something because the ceremonial bugle is very small, where you can just hold it. And,
Right. That's a great idea.
Yes.
Can people see
the quality is very good.
Well, sure. Can people see the speaker there, though? I mean, don't they know you're not playing it?
No, because generally the bugler is standing back away
Oh,
from...
I get it. He's
the
somewhat
green
distant. Okay.
Right.
It's very impressive. I mean, I think that's cool.
Right.
If that could play Boogie Woogie Bugler Boy, I might buy. And I guess if you could get an MP3 player in there, it could play Boogie Woogie Bugler Boy.
You're right.
It could play anything you want in there.
You're right.
I'm not sure exactly what the dimensions are of this, but I do know some iPod cases that have speakers on them that might just do the trick. I'm not sure, because I'm not sure how big this is. Okay. And it might be that if you mess with it a little bit, you could get it to work. Here, let me show you. This is one that I use that I really like. It's pretty small. It's called the iMainGo, iMainGo.com.
Okay.
It's about the size of fits in the palm of your hand. It's just about, you see, there's the iPod in it, and then it goes around the iPod, and it's got actually two very good speakers, stereo speakers. So if you had on the iPod taps or any song, it's got battery power to play. The question is, can we get this thing in the Bugle?
Well, that's not really necessary, to be honest. A lot of times the military will only send 2 people, and they are folding the flag, and they have handed me just that device that goes in the Bugle, and I'm standing back just playing that.
Oh, okay. Well, this would work. This would work fine. How far away are you?
Maybe 20 feet.
Oh, this would work fine. This is very loud. This will fill a room.
Okay.
And it's very I don't think it's expensive. I think it's under $100. I have one. I love it.
Okay.
In fact, my kids love it because it allows them to carry around their iPod and still listen to it. You know, that's one of the problems with the iPod. There's no speakers on it. Right. Sean, you see a lot of gadgets. Do you have any suggestions maybe for a gadget that would, a case for an iPod, not necessarily an iPod, but an MP3 player of any kind that would play, have speakers around it? Or are there MP3 players with speakers?
There are a few with speakers. There's one Yep player from Samsung that has a speaker built into it. That's an option, but
how loud is it?
None of them that have speakers built in are terribly loud, and that's the big problem.
They're small speakers.
Yeah, the big problem is getting something that will actually project enough when it's in that Bugle to sound realistic.
I can vouch for this iMainGo. I mean, it's not going to. That's why I asked how far. If you're 100 feet away, you're going to be a little far away. But 20 feet is just across the room, and I think this would fill this room. This might be the solution for you. And by the way, you could probably strip it down a little bit, take the speakers out of it, and put the iPod down the tube. It'll work with a Nano or even a Shuffle. Something this small, you could easily put it down the tube and then have these speakers come out of it. So I think that, and the speakers themselves aren't that big. The biggest part of the case is for the batteries. It uses 2 AA batteries, or maybe 4 AA batteries. So I think this is a solution for you.
Well, thank you very much, Leo. That solves my problem.
iMainGo, iMainGo.com.
Okay.
Okay. Well, that's great. Well, I'm glad we could help you out a little bit. I'm kind of intrigued by the ceremonial bugle. I never, I just thought, well, there's a lot. I mean, how hard can it be to play a bugle? But I guess there's quite a few people who don't play the bugle, but need to be. And there's more ceremonies than you have bugle players or something. That's
true. It's hard. Some people request a live bugler, and it's kind of hard to get somebody that knows how to play that.
Look at this. It said, with the bugler shortage in mind, Congress passed a law that took effect in January 2000 that allows a recorded version of taps if a live horn player is not available. Isn't that interesting? And I do agree. It's kind of nicer if it comes out of a bugle, to be honest with you. It just looks more ceremonial. So I think that's a nice idea.
Yeah.
Well, I'm glad I could help you out there, Jeffrey.
Well, thank you very much, Leo.
My pleasure. I thank you for calling. I think you could cobble something similar together if you just go and buy small speakers, and you could probably make something that would go in there. Certainly a lot less than $500, although I have to think the bugle costs a little bit. That's not cheap. Thank you, Jeffrey. Take care.
Thank you, Leo.
All right. Have a great afternoon, if you could say that to an undertaker. I don't know if what would make it a good afternoon for an undertaker. Not a busy. Let's not have a busy afternoon, shall we? Hey, we're going to take a break. When we come back, we're going to show you how to. Is this appropriate or what? Shoot me in the head. Jacob Tran with a flash game. Can I have the ceremonial bugle if anything should happen to me at the end of this segment?
We'll rip one up for you.
Well, thank you very much. I know Sean will do that for me. We'll be right back. No, I promise you, no geeks will be harmed in this show. Stay right here. Welcome back. I'm very to the lab with Leo. I'm very relieved to hear that it's questions that are being shot at my head and nothing bad. Ladies and gentlemen, Jacob Tranny is a game design instructor at the Vancouver Film School and a professional game designer. Has worked for many, many companies, including Electronics Arts, and is online at jacobtran.com. Right. He's showing us step by step how to use Flash. And given that this is only the second step, I'm kind of impressed. We're going to actually go right to a game.
We're going to accelerate a little bit, but yes, that's what we're going to do.
So now, of course, to do this, you need the Flash creation software, which is, from Adobe, and it costs several $100s. But a lot of is there a student discount for this?
There is. There's an educational version, and there's a non-professional version, which
great.
Gives you a bit of a discount.
That's great.
You also get a 30-day trial as well off of Adobe.
So you can always do this at home. And by the way, Jacob's done such a great job of show notes here, step by step, all the details you need, so you can really follow along with this. So where do we start?
Well, where we start is you need to know something called ActionScript. And that's really the scripting language that drives Flash's interactivity.
So Flash is more than just a graphics program. There's actually a programming language.
That's right. So to make this game, we have three major components. One is the ship.
Yep.
The other is the bullets, in this case the question marks. And the third component is yourself,
My
Leo.
colorful head. I look like an Easter egg there.
It's my Warhol.
The Warhol Leo.
That's right. So let's start with the ship.
Okay. You
need to know a couple things. One is, how do you move that ship using ActionScript?
So what we're looking now is actually ActionScript. It's a programming language. And if you've used any programming language, it's going to look pretty familiar.
Very similar to JavaScript.
Okay.
So what we have is something called the key listener, and that basically allows us to talk to Flash using our keyboard.
Oh, okay.
So when we press left on the keyboard, right, up, down, we're going to want...
The key listener picks it up.
That's right.
Yeah.
Listens for that action, and it picks it up.
Okay.
We're going to manipulate something called the X and Y properties of this ship, and that basically allows us to move the ship around on the screen.
Well, that makes sense. So if you hit the left button, the X-axis decrements. If you hit the right button, it goes up.
Exactly.
Y up and down, same thing.
So that's our ship, and that's how we move it.
All right.
How we're going to fire the bullets is we're going to use the space bar.
Okay.
So when the space bar is pressed, we are going to duplicate a movie clip on the stage that's our question mark here. Now what our question mark, what it does is it doesn't listen to the keyboard. When it's placed on the stage, it's going to move across the stage horizontally.
It has a very predictable path.
Very predictable path. Yeah. Its x-axis is where it's going to move.
Okay.
And it's also going to listen if it collides with the Leo. If it hits a Leo, it's going to play not only the bullet's explosion animation, but Leo's explosion animation as well.
So as it moves across, it checks to see where the Leos are, and if it intersects with a Leo, it changes its behavior.
Correct.
Makes a movie go.
So let's check out Leo. So here...
Let's check out my head. Okay.
We have Leo in his happy state, and then in his exploded state.
Ooh! Okay.
All right.
And you did that all ahead of time in Flash.
That's right. Using tweens, like we talked about earlier.
Great.
Leo's motion, though, is going to be very unpredictable. We're going to use...
Otherwise, it'd be too easy to shoot me.
That's right. We're going to use the random function that's built into Flash.
Excellent.
Just constantly returns you random numbers.
Do I jump around or do I smoothly flow?
You sort of jumble around on the screen, all right? So I'm going to run it and sort of show you what we have as a result.
Oh, I'm jittering around.
Yeah.
Well, let's see the game. Come on. I don't want to see. Yeah.
So
shoot me. Come on.
And I'm going to start shooting you.
Oh, my head explodes when you ask too many questions.
There you go.
Well, that's very smooth and actually works fairly easily. That's really cool. And by the way, there's sound on that too.
Yes, I used your theme music.
How hard is that to add the sound?
It's very simple. You go into the timeline, and you can actually select an MP3 file to load into there.
So you've got the theme song, and that's kind of the background music. But you have to use ActionScript to play an explosion sound, don't you?
Well, when we tell it to play the explosion animation, I have a keyframe that has
part of the animation.
Yes, the sound can be attached to a keyframe as well.
So it's really simple. The explosion is just one command: play this movie.
That's right.
And everything else happens coming out of that.
Correct.
Were we going to make this game available online?
Yes, it
Oh,
is
dear.
available on.
I was afraid of that. So if you'd like to shoot my head, you can do it too. This is really interesting. Where should people start if they want to learn ActionScript? Because it's intimidating when, especially if you're a graphics artist, to say now you got to learn how to program. You know? Are there some good resources online for that?
Definitely. There's on adobe.com. There's a ton of tutorials that you can go through, and there's one site that I strongly recommend, and it's called gotoandlearn.com.
Gotoandlearn.com. And I may also recommend jacobtran.com.
Yes.
JACOBTRAN.com. And that's Jacob's own site. He's also got links to a gallery of work done by students who I think... Do they do games? Is that the kind of stuff?
That's right.
Oh,
yeah.
what fun.
Yeah, it's excellent.
That's neat. Things like Line Rider, and there's so many great games. Desktop Tower Defense. There's so many fun Flash games online. In fact, that's all my kids play, really. I mean, my son has an Xbox 360, but he loves the Flash games.
Yeah.
Well, now you can do them, too. Thank you so much, Jacob. All the information you need, links, and very detailed show notes are online at our website, labwithleo.com. More of your calls coming up. But first, let's get a close-up picture and see if you can figure out what the tech it is. What is that? And what's that symbol mean? Hang out here with us for just a little bit. We'll be back right after these important words, and we'll zoom out and find out what the tech that is. Well, I know that's something that's like a keypad of some kind. Is that a cell phone? What is it? Let's zoom out. Oh, it's an Intellivision controller. I would have never guessed it. Once again, Sean Carruthers with his giant macro zoom lens has shown us the close-up of everyday things you find around the lab. Now, Kate, you have another caller. I could see him on your screen there. Let's get him on the air here.
Okay, this is Brian, and he's calling from St. Louis in Missouri.
St. Lou! Hello, Brian. How are you?
Hi, Leo. I'm doing well. How are you?
Oh, very good. Welcome to the show.
Thank you.
What can I do to help you today?
I am having trouble with my wireless network in my apartment here.
Very common, by the way. Wireless networking seems to be particularly unreliable. What's happening?
Well, it's a really random thing. About 2 or 3 times a week, it just stops working. I get no throughput. I can always see my network, but it seems like nothing's coming through. I can't bring up any web pages or anything.
Oh, wow. Interesting.
And I've wondered, well, maybe my DSL connection's acting up, but if I plug in the hard wire, I get a connection that way.
Okay.
But it just seems like nothing's coming through over the wireless.
So it's the Wi-Fi. And I have to say, I have the same thing kind of happen. Let me ask you a couple of questions. What operating system are you on?
I've always 10.
Okay, you're a Mac guy.
Yeah,
but for those of you who are using Windows, Microsoft has released, and we've mentioned this before, but I'm going to mention it again, the Windows Update Roll-Up Package. Wireless Update Roll-Up Package. They never pushed this out on the internet, oddly enough, but I do recommend downloading this because on Windows, this can help quite a bit with dropped Wi-Fi connections. And one of the problems on Windows is that wireless zero config is promiscuous. In other words, if it sees other connections in the neighborhood, it will switch over to see if they're better. Meanwhile, dropping you off the network. Now, let me ask you, you're on a Mac, so obviously this isn't going to help you. Let me ask you, do you see other connections in the neighborhood?
Oh, yeah, I'm in an apartment building. At any time, there's about 15 other networks I can see.
This almost, I'll tell you, it doesn't happen in the country. It happens in the areas where where there's crowded spectrum. One of the reasons Wi-Fi has taken off is because the frequency that it's on is unregulated. 2.4 gigahertz is an unregulated frequency. And so you can put anything, a baby monitor, a phone, networking device on that network frequency without bothering to notify anybody or any license or permission. That means it's a pretty crowded spectrum. And one of the things that I think is causing a big problem is routers. Well, I'm not going to name this one particularly, but routers like this. Notice this has 3 antennas. A lot of people buy routers that say, we will speed up your connection. We will make your wireless connection much faster. And the way they do that is by stealing bandwidth from you.
Oh, okay.
Does this happen at a particular time of day?
No, it's just really sporadic.
Yeah.
And I was just wondering if, like somebody on their cell phone or something?
It could be cell phone. It could be, if you have a cordless phone at 2.4 gigahertz, it could be that. A microwave is at 2.4 gigahertz often. There's a lot of devices at that frequency. Cell phones often operate in that frequency range as well.
So especially in an apartment complex.
Well, and that's the problem. And, I think in my case, I'm pretty sure, I haven't yet gone next door to talk to him, but I think it's my neighbor. Because it only happens at the end of the day, right about 5:30 or 6 when he gets home.
Yeah.
And I'll look out and I say, yep, neighbor's home, and I've lost my internet. Now it comes back. Does yours come back automatically?
Yeah, like I've tried resetting and everything, and it doesn't. It seems like if I just wait sometimes it's hours, but sometimes it's 10 minutes.
As soon as your neighbor gets offline,
right,
it comes back. So part of the problem is this new 802.11n specification. And in fact, one of the chipset manufacturers, Atheros, which is it Atheros or is it Ergo? It's Ergo, I'm sorry, which makes the chipset that is used in the Belkin and the Linksys models, has complained that Broadcom, their competitor, has introduced some things in the specification that make interference much more likely. And there's a little battle going on over 802.11n. So there is an interference problem in N. There's also an interference problem from older G hardware that uses various proprietary techniques to speed up the network by basically taking more bandwidth. Is this a G router or an N router?
That one's an N.
This is an N, okay. And yours is G?
Right.
Okay. There's really not much you can do with G. If you're on N, you can tell N to use the 5 gigahertz range. And if you have everything else N, that's one way to avoid this problem, is just to change to a band frequency that is not being used.
Now, I have the first gen MacBook. Is that available? Is N available?
No, it is not. It's only available on the Intel. Oh, actually, the MacBook, it's first gen, not the Core 2?
No, it's
the Core. Yeah, as I remember, it is not available on that one because I have one too. Okay. It is available. That's the one Intel Macintosh product that doesn't have it, right. And the Mini I think does not have it. But the newer MacBooks do, and the newer MacBook Pro. I think all the MacBook Pros do. You have to download it. It's a $2 update, and you can go to N.
I'd read something about that.
You have a G router. I don't think N would necessarily help. Although I did, in fact, that's exactly how I solved my problem. I went out and got an N router. I still have reliability issues, but because N is so much stronger, it's less prone. And I can't use the 5 gigahertz because I have a lot of G and B equipment still.
Oh, I see.
So you're stuck with the 2.4 gigahertz
now,
unless you're all in.
Changing the channels in the router, would that
It might help.
at all?
If it's a phone, it'll help.
Okay.
Depends what it is. The problem is, and I asked the FCC commissioner once this in the United States, well, are you telling me that I could just create a new device? Look, it's the wireless Starbucks coffee mug that calls Starbucks when you run out, and it could be on the 2.4 gigahertz range, and nobody could say boo about it? And he said, yes, that's right. You could do anything you want on that frequency, although this is a pretty good idea. I think somebody should actually do. You could do anything you want on that frequency, and if it brings down all the Wi-Fi in the neighborhood, too bad, it's not regulated.
Yeah.
So, I mean, you're regulated as to how much power and stuff, but it has to be FCC approved or CRTC approved in Canada, or, so forth. But it's terms of what you do on that frequency, anything goes. So, my suggestion, try moving your router, try different channels. You might try looking at a stronger router, an N router, and you might just see if you can figure out which of your neighbors it is and maybe knock on their door and say, I've got a gift for you. It's a new router. I think you'll like it. It's much better than the old one.
Maybe so.
That's what I'm tempted to do with my neighbor Jay. Whenever Jay's home, I'm off the air.
Yeah.
Anyway, that's my suspicion about what's going on. It's interference.
Okay, that's what I was assuming, but I just didn't know.
Well, and if you're a Windows person, try that Windows update, because that roll up, because that does seem to help quite a bit. On the Mac, I don't know of any magic bullet like that.
All right.
Okay?
All right, thank you so much.
I thank you so much for calling. Hey, let's take our daily quiz question of the day. See how smart you are. All right, geeks. Here's our quick quiz question. What was the original name of Flash? Before it was Flash, was it Adobe Flash, Macromedia Flash, Flash of the Pan, or Future Splash Animator? Yeah, right. Get to the website. Give us a guess. We'll talk about it a little later on. As the I almost said call for help. As the lab continues. Stay right here. Oh, Hello, welcome back to the lab with Leo. Let's get another caller on the air here. I promise not to electrocute him. Who do we have?
This is Sean from Stratford, Ontario.
Hello, Sean from Stratford, Ontario. How are you today?
Good. How are you doing, Leo?
Oh, couldn't be better. Welcome to the lab with Leo. What can I do for you today?
Well, I was looking to set up. I got a LCD monitor a couple months ago,
Okay.
a 19-inch Acer, and I had an older LG monitor, 17-inch, and I was looking at dual monitor setup with it. And it seems every time I hook up the two together that the picture on the LCD monitor actually degrades down to what I would almost get on my my CRT. I didn't know why I would be doing that.
Ah, very interesting. Let me ask you a couple of questions before we answer the question. First of all, I take it you have a single video card with two outputs.
Yeah.
Are they both digital, or is one VGA and one digital?
One's digital, one's VGA.
Okay. And the monitor that is degrading, is it on the VGA connector?
It's on the digital, actually.
It's on the digital connector. Okay, that's interesting. And you said Windows XP?
Yeah.
Okay. Sean, you've done a lot of this dual monitor setup stuff.
Yeah.
So he's got two monitors, and one of them goes down to a much lower quality. You'd like both, if it's an LCD, you want both to be at the native resolution of the LCD, whatever the pixels on that LCD are, 1024 by 768 or 1200 by 800 or whatever they are, right?
Mm-hmm. Right.
So what's going on?
The first thing that comes to mind typically when I hear about this is that the card itself doesn't have enough memory to handle both monitors gracefully.
So it'll degrade one.
So it'll degrade one. Theoretically, it would degrade both of them.
What kind of video card do you have in there?
I've got a 6800 GT in it.
That's an NVIDIA, right?
NVIDIA 6800.
So that should be fine.
That's a pretty new one. How much video RAM does it have?
I think it was a 256.
Oh, that's okay. That's got to be enough for...
Yeah.
And what resolution are you trying to run the monitors at?
The LCD it was at 1240, and the CRT actually looks fine. It's just the LCD that seems.
Now remember, a CRT degrades much more gracefully than any digital display. The problem with digital displays is they have a native. Even this is a plasma. Well, this is an LCD, but even a plasma, they have a native resolution, and some of them do a better job than others. But if you scale it down to a different resolution, the pixels can get jaggy and big and weird looking.
Yeah.
So the CRT may even be at the kind of wrong resolution or not the highest it can support, but it's going to scale much better than an LCD does. So he's got enough video RAM, it sounds like. I mean, he's not running at super high resolutions. 256 should be enough to support two 1280 displays, I would think, yeah?
Right, so maybe what's happening is it's trying to put them both into exactly the same resolution, and it's going into a non-native resolution for that monitor.
Ah, that's interesting. That would be the display control panel, right?
Right, so are you setting them up as mirrored, or are you setting them up as separate displays?
Separate display.
Yeah, because you want to extend your desktop, right? So you have more room. In effect,
yeah. So what you might want to do, first of all, is go into the control panel, and you should see two different monitors labeled 1 and 2 in the setup box for the display properties.
Yeah.
And you can click on each of them and check for your resolution settings, first of all, and you should be able to adjust them independently of each other.
Have you been able to do that, adjust the resolution settings?
I have been able to adjust them, but it didn't seem to actually do all that much.
Interesting. So you can't, if you adjust it to the native resolution for the LCD, it doesn't change anything?
Mm-hmm. It just seems to, it doesn't really seem to allow it to go to what I would consider the native resolution and keeps it at a degraded picture.
The other thing to make sure is that you have the correct monitor definitions, they call them drivers. They're not really drivers.
Yeah.
They're just a text file with definitions about what that monitor is capable of. When you look at, in your display property settings, when you look at the various attached monitors, does it diagnose them correctly? Does it say, mine here says default monitor. That's not a good choice. Generic VGA monitor is not a good choice. Generic plug-and-play monitor. You want it to say the name of the monitor if possible, right here.
Yeah, well, that's the funny thing about the Acer LCDs is that they actually don't send a driver with them, and you couldn't find one.
And you can't find one.
Part.
No, that's interesting.
Yeah.
So what monitor type is it using?
It comes up as plug-and-play.
Generic plug-and-play monitor, yeah. So if it's plugging and playing properly, the monitor should be telling, Windows what it's capable of, but I'm concerned that maybe it's not doing that.
Yeah, perhaps there's something faulty inside.
The control panel, it actually comes up as the 19-inch
it does.
Wide monitor, but in Windows it doesn't actually give you the type.
Okay, so you know that it's seeing it properly.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I would say a couple of possibilities. One is you got to see if you can get a later driver for the 6800. It may just be that the driver is bad. I mean, I can't tell you how many problems are caused by just bad video drivers.
No, I know.
That's why both NVIDIA and ATI release the driver of the month. You know, there's always a new driver. Have you tried that already?
Yeah.
Yeah. First thing you did.
Up-to-date on my NVIDIA driver.
I can tell you know what you're doing, Sean. So you updated your drivers.
One last thing that I would think is maybe try replacing the video cable between the monitor and the computer. It may not have all the pins it needs if it's a dual link DVI connector.
Interesting.
It may just be a damaged cable that's not sending all the information. So if you replace it with a fresh cable that you know is good, and it still does that, then there's something deeper at work there.
Trying to think of what we could do in here, would changing the hardware acceleration or anything like that make any difference? Probably not.
You could try scaling back the graphics acceleration to see if that does anything at all, but I wouldn't think so. And if the driver for the video card that you have comes from the manufacturer, you may want to try updating to the one on NVIDIA's site. They usually have a generic driver that will have all the newest tweaks and updates for that.
They call them reference drivers. And the card manufacturer may not have applied the latest fixes. So have you tried both the NVIDIA and the manufacturer's driver?
Okay.
Yeah, that's another thing to try.
Normally just go with the NVIDIA drivers.
Oh, if you're using and by the way, this is another voodoo fix, but sometimes, so the reference driver doesn't work right, maybe go to the video card manufacturer and see if their driver works better. And then sometimes they'll have two versions. They'll have a WHQL certified, Windows Hardware Quality Lab certified, and one that's uncertified. And then sometimes the certified one works better, and sometimes the uncertified. So there's at least, in most cases, with an NVIDIA card, not true of ATI because they make their own cards, but in most cases because of NVIDIA, there's at least 2 and maybe as many as 4 different versions of the same driver. And so I always, if I'm having trouble, will try all 4. I mean, it's at least a shot.
Okay.
Those are a few things you can take a look at. It sounds like it's just not recognizing the monitor properly. That's my best guess. It's
been a little bit frustrating because I've happened like many times, dual monitor setups. So this is the first time that I've run into this problem, and it just happens to be my own.
So it's funny, you're setting them up for other people, but now you can't get it to work for you, huh?
Yeah, exactly.
I got the fix for you. Just go to Dell.com and buy 2 of those 24-inch Dell widescreen displays. They work great together.
If I can convince my wife, I would.
Hey, I thank you so much for the call, Sean.
All right, thanks a lot, Leo.
All right, take care.
All right, have a good night.
You too, bye-bye. Yeah, that's always the problem. The wife. They get in the way. Unless the wife's the geek and the husband's getting in the way. That sometimes happens too. Coming up in just a little bit, more of your calls as we continue The Lab with Leo. Don't go away. Welcome back to The Lab with Leo. Still to come, we're going to talk a little bit about something new from Adobe that I'd never heard about with our webmaster, Mr. Raj Brar. But first, we got to get another call on the air.
Yep, we are. Our last call of the day is Phil, and he is calling us from New South Wales.
Don't say last. I hate it when it's the last. Hello, Phil. How are you?
Oh, pretty good, Leo. How are you?
I am great. It's so, I tell you, one of the things I find most gratifying is how we've been received in Australia for the show. People just really seem to like it, and I'm so happy about it. I love talking to folks from Australia. So thank you for watching the show and for calling us. I appreciate it. What can I do to help you today?
I'm just wondering, I have a very old laptop which I want to put Linux on, but the CD-ROM is busted, and I know that to install Windows, it's just a matter of getting the files on there and installing it from DOS. But I'm just wondering, I have a memory stick. I'm just wondering if there's some other way to install Linux without a CD-ROM.
That's an interesting question. Now, I know it was a little garbled, so folks, if you couldn't quite understand it, he doesn't have a CD-ROM, but he has an ISO of Linux that he wants to install, and he's trying to figure out how you do that. How do you install Linux on an ISO? Normally you'd burn a CD and you'd boot to the CD, and that would you'd either run off the CD or you then install it onto the hard drive. I guess the question comes down to, Phil, is you could put it on a USB device like a thumb drive. In fact, there are Linux designed for that, or a USB hard drive. But the question is, can you boot from USB on that machine?
Yes, I can.
Yay! Because that's key. If you can't boot from USB, nothing you're going to do is going to work. And here's why. The problem is that you have to be able to, before you run Windows, before anything, any operating system is loaded, you have to be able to load in that Linux. So that means you have to have a BIOS that's smart enough to look at an external drive, like a USB drive or a thumb drive, and look at what's on there and boot from it. Now, the next thing we got to do, and this is going to be a little tricky, is we've got to make a bootloader that will boot up from the USB drive and then kind of mount or launch the disk and run from the disk. And now, that may be a little trickier. Have you tried booting to a USB drive on your system?
I haven't really tried booting from it, but I do know that whenever I boot the computer and this thing's in there, it says disk error, actually because no operating system is on it.
Right. So good. That's great. That's a good start.
It does see the stick when I boot the computer up.
So I'm thinking that probably you could put a small, basically, bootloader on there to run a DVD or a CD-ROM emulator, and I bet you this is the case, there are Linux tools or Linux versions that will boot in from a memory stick. In fact, I know there are. I've seen them. I'm going to have to look because, let me see, Linux USB drive. Yeah, here it is. How to install, Lifehacker did it. How to install Linux on a USB drive. There's a Linux USB FAQ. In fact, I just did a Google search for Linux USB drive and I found a lot of different things. So the key is you've got to have a USB computer that can boot from a USB drive, and then this will describe, it's from Alt-Hack, how to get that Linux onto the USB drive and then run it. So I'm going to leave that to you for the details because it's going to be fairly complicated. But you can find it on lifehacker.com or just do a Google search, as I did, for Linux USB drive. But the main thing is you've got the hardware that'll do it. You're stuck if the only thing it'll boot from is a hard drive or a CD-ROM, but in your case, you've got a system that can boot from a USB drive. So this is a very good one. The linux-usb.org is a whole website devoted to this. Linux-usb.org. It's the Linux USB project, and it's specifically for people like you who want to boot Linux from a USB drive. Okay, Phil?
Excellent.
I am glad that you are a geek and you like Linux and you watch this show from Australia. All three make me happy. Thanks a lot. Have a great day, all right? I think it's early in the morning right now, so I think that's a safe thing to say to him. He's probably got up before the sun to be on the show. All right, now it's time for Ewell's Jewel, and here he is. He's got a DVD here. What are you up to?
Well, I got a DVD. I bought it myself. I own it.
No, yeah, it's Electric Playground. It's produced by the Grady Productions.
Okay.
This show.
Okay,
so, yes, you do own this.
I've actually worked on that show.
You
too.
actually did this show. Okay.
And we're using a free file here that actually Sean has told me is probably one of the greatest free files of all time, in his opinion.
So one of the greatest free... Wow.
Yeah, it's a big deal. So today is a big one. It's called Handbrake.
I love it!
Handbrake's great. Now, you're going to say, well, why are you running MediaFork?
Yeah, it says MediaFork.
Okay, well, from my understanding, the open source user...
I'm going to switch this over
there
here.
you go.
Yeah, so we can see it.
See
That's
that?
all. Yeah,
that was my job. I messed that up. I was supposed to press that button. I forgot to press the magic button.
Leo can press the magic button.
It's okay. It's pressed.
Yeah,
there
fun.
You go.
All right.
It's an open source. MediaFork was the open source community contributed to version of Handbrake. So people made Handbrake, and then people made it better, added things. It's called MediaFork.
It's what? A DVD ripper?
Yeah, a DVD ripper. And they kind of split apart, and now they've come back together.
They've reunited,
and now they're going to be called Handbrake from now on. But I have MediaFork, so it's Handbrake.
Now, the nice thing about MediaFork is it works on Windows as well as Mac.
Yes, it does. The great thing about this is that you can just rip your DVDs. So here we choose the chapters. There's only one chapter on this DVD. We can choose all the different settings here. So I can choose different file formats. I can choose AVI. There's lots of settings, picture settings. We can go in here. We can change aspect ratios. We can crop it.
I have to say that generally you don't even mess with these settings because it has presets for almost anything. anything you'd want to do, including Apple TV now. You can rip right to Apple TV.
You can do the H.264. It's really good. So it's powerful. So anyway, you hit the rip button, and then it rips your DVD. Now, we wouldn't have time to do the whole thing, so I've already pre-ripped it. So I'm just going to hit play here, and
you copied it to your hard drive. That's what ripping means, and it does get around most DVD copy protection schemes. It also has a button to rip to an iPod video or Apple TV, as I said, or a lot of different devices, PSP. So really, it's
simple
kind of the ultimate.
And powerful.
I love it.
It's a great
program.
program.
It does a really good job.
It's a jewel for sure.
Media Fork, or just do a Google for Handbrake.
Yes.
It's like at m0k.org. I don't understand what that is.
It'll be on
elite hacker talk.
Don't even do that. Just go to labwithleo.com.
Oh, yeah.
Why even do a search? Just come to us.
Speaking of elite, go to labwithleo.com.
Yes.
All of Yule's jewels are lying there.
Yes, they are.
Scattered upon the ground.
Yes.
For you to pick up.
Yes.
And use as you wish.
Powerful.
Powerful jewels. Jewels just for you. You know, JOULES is a measure of energy.
Yes, yes.
So it could be Yule's jewels with a U.
Yes.
But maybe not. Tell you what, coming up in just a bit, we're going to talk about something brand new from Adobe that may intrigue you. Raj Brar, our webmaster, joins us right after this. But first, let's test your tech knowledge. It's quiz question time. Here it is. What was the original name of the Flash animation package? Was it Adobe Flash, Macromedia Flash, Flash in the Pan, or Future Splash Animator? Get to the website. Give us the answer. We'll talk about it when the lab continues. Welcome back to the lab. Before the break, we asked you the original name of Flash. Well, I know it was Macromedia Flash, but even before then, when Macromedia acquired it, it was called the Future Splash Animator. It's come a long way since then, since Flash 1. We're going to talk a little bit about Macromedia, Adobe, and Flash, but a new version or an additional capability to Flash called Flex 2. Raj Brar is here. He's our webmaster and is a master of web technologies. First of all, there is a technology called Ajax, and you're seeing it in Web 2.0 everywhere. Yeah. What is Ajax?
Ajax is basically, it's a bunch of technologies, but what it is, it's basically using JavaScript to make web pages more interactive.
Dynamic web pages.
Dynamic. So there's certain things like on Google's personal web pages where you can actually move things around.
Pages update without refreshing the whole page. On Google Maps, you can drag the map around, stuff like that. So they're using Ajax.
Yeah, they're using Ajax, and the thing is to make applications a lot more dynamic and rich and so forth. Almost like a
really
desktop.
does. I mean, it really makes it look great. But there is a competitor from Adobe to Ajax called Flex 2.
Flex 2. Now, what they're using is they're using the Flash platform. So we've already seen Flash being used for video, and we've seen it being used for animation, which Jacob showed us earlier.
But it's typically not super interactive. There might be buttons and things.
No, just to play games and so forth. Right. But now Flash is also being used for applications as well. So you're starting to see a little more desktop-like applications online.
So a good example, you've got Google Maps using Ajax. Yahoo uses Flex 2 for its maps.
They use Flex 2,
Very similar in functionality.
Yeah. And Flex looks really cool. Now, I've got a couple other websites that use it as well for certain other things.
Show us,
And one is Sherwin-Williams' website, and I guess they're a U.S. company that sells...
It's a paint company.
Paint company. And so they've got a...
they cover the earth, you see?
Exactly. Yeah. So their website here is done in... it's the color chooser, and it's done in Flash.
Do you need, as a user, a plugin, or will Flash be...
You don't need any plugin whatsoever, just the Flash player in itself in the website.
But boy, this doesn't look like Flash, does it?
It does not look like Flash. What it's letting us do here is...
Choose a home style.
Choose home styles. You can basically paint your house and decide on different colors. And this is very interactive, all done in Flash. It's not a game. It's not a video.
Wow, very interesting.
Dragging colors around. You can paint walls and so forth.
Now, you need some special software to develop these sites.
Yeah.
You can't use just your regular Flash developer.
No, you can't. I mean, it would take a lot of programming and so forth. But what the Adobe's come out with is called a Flex 2. And that's their new IDE, integrated development environment. And that basically allows you to sort of visually create those pages.
Well, let's see what it looks like. So you've got it running here.
I've got it running right here, and you can see that once you create your little panel, you can actually incorporate different components that they have built in. One of the ones that I find really kind of interesting is the text menu here. If I can find it, it was here a second ago. Rich text editor. It's as simple as just dragging it in and incorporating it into your Flash, and now you have a full functioning text editor that you can throw on your website and so forth.
So I could see people writing message boards in this, websites, all sorts of stuff.
Just about anything that you can do in web, just regular HTML and Ajax and so forth, or JavaScript, you can do in Flash really now.
Look how simply you were able to create a very nice editing.
It gives you progress bars, just a whole bunch of components, and there's always more components being created, so controllers. You can just have a very functional, cool-looking website. And just another simple one on the way is the Flex Store, which is also done in a phone storefront, basically. It's also done in Flex.
This is a demo site from Macromedia.
Exactly. And it does similar kinds of things where you can have clicking and dragging and so forth.
Oh my goodness!
And details and support.
We're going to see amazing stuff happening
in.
on the web. I mean, this is just incredible.
Yeah, it's all done in Flex too, and it's about $900 right now for the software.
$800 or $900
US, yeah.
Okay.
But there is a 30-day trial download from the Adobe website, and we've got some links you can check out on our website.
And once you create this, your users don't need to do anything special.
You don't need to do anything else.
Everybody already has the Flash player.
Yeah. Yeah.
I am impressed. I'm very impressed.
Great
Adobe is doing some amazing stuff. And of course, there's an issue always when you have this kind of interactivity about bandwidth and security and so forth. But one of the things Adobe's been very good about is solving those problems up front.
Exactly.
Yeah. Thank you, Raj. We're not going to use this on our site, though.
No,
not until we start selling the bobblehead Leo dolls.
I'll have to learn it first.
You could customize the bobblehead.
Exactly.
You know, maybe have a Kate bobblehead, or whatever the heck that thing is. I don't know. I don't know what that bobblehead is. Hey, thank you, Raj. Raj Brar is the webmaster at labwithleo.com. You can see his work in the real world, in the wild, as they say right there. And he'll come back from time to time to talk about new web technologies for us. We really appreciate it. We're going to wrap up the show with some final words right after this. Stay right here. Welcome back to the lab. I'm Leo. We got Sean. We got Kate. You know, one thing I wanted to show people maybe if you've been to the website, The Lab with Leo, don't know that Sean's taking pictures all the time. With his camera, and he's a very good photographer, and you put those up on Flickr, don't you?
Yes, we have a special account set up at Flickr. It's under the account name Lab with Leo. And we put up a bunch every shoot week and some behind-the-scenes stuff between shoot weeks.
It's fun, and some great pictures of all of our cohorts. There's a funny one of Ryan in there.
Let me just click on that. Ryan, I'm sorry.
Flickr.com/labwithleo.
Flickr.com/photos/labwithleo, yes.
Yes, you get the inside track of everything that's happening here behind this. It's kind of fun. And then besides the Flickr site, which has a lot of photos, you used to do that on Call for Help. In fact, the Call for Help site's still alive, and lots of great pictures from the...
Right, so that would be flickr.com/photos/globalhermit, and you can find all those in sets from beforehand.
That's your
that's my own personal one. So you have to put up with some of my nature photography, too.
He's a good photographer. But also, we've got blogs. You and Ryan Ewell, Kate, right? You and Kate does her blog, and Ryan Ewell does his blog, kind of behind the scenes. And that's kind of fun. In fact, we were talking... maybe about doing a behind-the-scenes video podcast too. Wouldn't that be fun?
I'm in.
Yeah, we were talking about doing that, and the great thing is, well, people can comment. So if for any reason like I phone you as a caller and you want to comment how bad I am, then bung it on here.
There it is. That's where it goes. And of course, that's where you can get on to ask your questions. It's labwithleo.com. Fill out that form. Kate will call you. We'll put you on the show, and maybe we can help you with your tech problems. I thank you for joining us. Thanks to Sean. Thanks to Kate. Thanks to Ryan. Thanks to all of you. We'll see you next time on The Lab with Leo. Bye-bye. Stop taking pictures. Taking pictures all the time. Please don't tell me. No pictures.